Right, today we've been asked for some instructions regarding pattern 5672, and it's to do with the stitch work here. One or two people have been struggling. I think you might be overthinking it a bit, and I can understand why. So what I'm going to do, or what I've done already, is create a little bit. So I just did that little bit just to have an anchor place for it, and then I've started to create the pattern. Now every size will obviously have a different number of stitches. I will just say though, you do need them to be an odd number of stitches in order for the stitch combination to start and finish properly. So we're looking, say for example you had 91 stitches on one side, you might have 99 stitches on the next size. So it doesn't really matter how many stitches you've got, as long as you've got an odd number. So the first row of the pattern, you knit one. Now your yarn is behind the work and it needs to stay behind the work, and then you slip one purlwise. So that means you're going into the back underneath and just moving it across. So I haven't knit it or done anything fancy, you've just slipped it. And then we keep repeating that. So you knit the next stitch just normally, and then keeping your yarn at the back, pop your needle in, slip it purlwise and knit the next one. And I think what people are trying to do is either slip it that way, which isn't, that's slipping it knitwise. You don't want to do it that way. This is keeping your stitch facing in the right direction for when you're doing the next row. So slip it purlwise, knit your next stitch, slip it purlwise, knit your next stitch. And in a moment I'll turn it round and I'll show you how the back is going to look. So we keep slipping it, knit the next one, slipping it, knit the next one, all the way to the end. So the final one, you slip, knit the final stitch, and that's why you need your odd number, because you need to start and finish with a knit one on that one. Now what you've got on the back is the stitch that you slipped, which is this every second stitch. You've got a little loop across there, and that's what you need, that's what you're looking for. So you've knit one and you've slipped one, and because you slipped it purlwise, it's going to be in just the right place next time round. So we're going to turn it round, and row 2, you start with a knit one, and then this is where it's different. You bring the yarn forward, so between the needles, bring it towards you, and then slip it purlwise, and then take the yarn back between the needles. So that is knit one, bring the yarn forward, which means it comes towards you, slip it purlwise again, so going in from that side, take the yarn back, knit it. So bring your yarn through between the needles towards you, slip the next one purlwise, and it's the same stitch that you slipped on the row before. Put the yarn back between the needles, knit one, bring it forward, slip one purlwise, take it back, knit one. And repeat this to the end, so bringing it backwards and forwards between the needles, but just slipping the stitch in the middle. So between, slip, back between the needles, knit one. So I'm going to repeat this to the end. Obviously your rows will be a lot longer than mine. And then again, final slip one, knit one. Okay, so that's that kind of concertina effect that you've got there. Now the next 2 rows are just very simple, straightforward knit rows. So every single stitch you knit, and just to show you this, by slipping that purlwise on the row below, when you come to knit it, it's facing in the right direction. If you had slipped it knitwise, I'll just swap that stitch round, it would be facing that way, and when you try to knit it, you'd twist it, which is not something you want to do. So that gives a very different look, and it does tighten your work up. So this row is just a really simple knit row. And so you can see how the stitch is starting to show there. And then finally we do one more knit row. So it's a 4-row pattern repeat for this. So I'm simply knitting all the way across, and this, oops, this does put a slight ridge on the other side. Move that needle out of the way. So you end up, after the 4 rows, you can see how you've got these like staggered stitches there, and then you've got a little bit of an indent here, and that's how it should look. And these will build up, so you've got a stretched looking stitch there, and they build up on top of one another and flow all the way up the garment. So obviously, you know, rewatch this video as much as you need to, but that's how you create the stitch for this pattern. So I hope you find that helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.